So two mindsets, one of the poor and the other of the rich. So let's start with the rich. The rich believes that when they make a little money, that the best thing for them to do, or the first thing to do, is to invest that money. They want to plant the money or the resources as a seed and wait for it to germinate, grow. They will water it. They will do all it takes for that seed to become a tree before they will start plucking the fruits from it. But when it comes to the poor believes that as they eat it and wait for another day that they will get another seed. They always eat up the seed. So if it is salary, when they get it, they finish all of it without keeping a little for the rainy day or for an emergency or even for investment. They believe that the day will take care of itself, and they attribute everything to God. God will, God knows, and all that. They forget one thing, that there is a principle for everything, and the wealth creation, that becoming wealthy has a principle, and that if you don't follow that principle, you're unlikely, very, very unlikely to become wealthy. They forget that part. The poor is always eating up their own seed, and that's why they don't get fruits. They don't have fruits. While the rich is always planting their seeds, watering it, and getting a seed. Let's take practical examples. So the poor and the rich, they are both salary earners, for instance, or let's say they are income earners, and they both earn $1,000 every month. The poor will keep spending the money. They will buy clothes, they will buy shoes, they will buy handbags for ladies, they will buy makeups. They consider everything to be important at the moment. They follow the flow. They want to be like others. They want to be like everyone else. They ask themselves, is my own too bad? Am I the one that my own is worse? And beg, let me live my life now. I don't have to be seen as the one whose own is too worse. That's the kind of conversations you will be hearing amongst the poor. While the rich will invest some part of that money and take care of just the basic needs, because they are aware that they have not reached the point that they can afford frivolities or they can be flamboyant. They have not reached the point that they can enjoy luxury. They leave that for the day to come, another year, 5 years to come, that they can easily enjoy luxury without having to suffer or think about it financially. But the poor believes that tomorrow will take care of itself. I mean, they don't think about when they grow old, retirement, children's education, children's school fees in the future. What about medical bills? They don't think about it. They believe that when the time comes, when we get to the bridge, we cross it. And that's a mindset that is very destructive. And even though today we still see what it causes, a lot of people are still indulging in that kind of mindset. And sometimes I wonder why. But I ask myself, what about you? You used to be in that state before. Not that you are wasteful, not that you are wasting, resources, not that you are even putting it on yourself, like you are buying clothes or shoes. No, you were not doing those things. You were not actually spending it on yourself, but you were busy giving it out, spending it on other people, whoever cares to get a piece of it, without thinking of your future, without thinking of your retirement, without thinking of how years are passing and how one day you will not be able to be physically earning income. You were not thinking about that maybe they used to be like you. They used to be like you a few years back. And so don't judge them so harshly. Just teach them how they can come out of that kind of mindset, how they can change that mindset and turn things around, and because That's where it starts. By the time they change the mindset, things will become a lot easier. At the moment, it's so difficult to let them know that you don't have to buy that clothes. You don't have to buy a car when you have no home. You don't have to go and own a whole house, live in it with some rooms empty, or go and build that beautiful mansion that you visit only once a year and spend only 2 weeks. That's not necessary. That the first thing you should do is build an apartment where people can live. And that's that mindset of the rich and the poor, where the poor thinks that the rich are very greedy, they keep getting and getting. They forget that the rich is putting in some value, that they are converting to that wealth that they are getting, that there is something the rich is doing that they, the poor, are not able to do or are not willing to do. That's what they forget. And so the rich turns around, and say the poor, they are the ones that are greedy. They are very selfish. They only care about themselves. They take and take only for themselves. And I think that is true, because the poor are not sharing. You hardly will see the poor share opportunities. Even the ones that are not from them, they find it difficult to share for others to benefit from. That's the mindset of the poor. And yet they accuse the rich of being greedy. Now tell me, who is greedy amongst them? When you cannot share, not even share opportunities that can make you become rich, you hoard it. You are the one that I think is greedy. So between the mindset of the rich, which one would you want? The rich will make an investment, and this investment is what will take care of their luxury, their frivolities tomorrow. The rich, that's what they do. They will first of all build that apartment that will be generating income every year, monthly, depending on the area they are in, while the poor is living in a mansion all by themselves with a lot of empty rooms, until they are not even able to fix the leaking roof, to fix the plumbing that has gone busted, to take care of the house or even repaint it, because they have spent all that they have trying to look like others and to become like others. So now, having had these few things, which side would you want to be? I'm sure that you will make a very smart and an intelligent decision to fall on the side of the rich and follow the mindset of the rich and become very wealthy. That's what is good for your life in the time that you are not able to keep making income. Well, I'm going to say a very big thank you for watching. That's just what I bring today. I hope it will help somebody to start changing their mindset about money, wealth, and becoming rich. Thank you. Bye.